Welcome back to Drive Auto Reviews. Today we're taking an in-depth, no-nonsense look at the rear of the futuristic blue flying car. The design, engineering, performance implications for the US market in 2025, and what this vehicle could realistically cost you. I'll walk you through everything from the taillight signatures and airflow management to sensor placement, safety considerations, and a straight-up assessment of how this machine might perform on American roads, in restricted air corridors, and in day-to-day ownership. This is a detailed review focused on the rear, but because the rear influences so much of a vehicle's behavior, I'll tie that into performance, range, pricing, and ownership expectations so you have the full picture. First impressions matter, and the rear of this blue flying car is clearly designed to communicate speed, stability, and modernity. The taillight cluster is slim and horizontally oriented, stretching across the back with a subtle tapered shape that visually widens the car. That's not just styling. A continuous or connected light bar improves visibility to following drivers, or other small aerial vehicles, and gives the vehicle a distinctive signature at night, an important factor for brand recognition. The rear bumper area is sculpted with pronounced diffuser-like elements and integrated venting. Visually, this signals performance, but functionally those contours are designed to manage airflow under and behind the vehicle while it's in hover or low-altitude cruise. The integration of aerodynamic elements into the rear reduces turbulent wake, which improves stability and can marginally increase efficiency, critical for electric or hybrid VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, platforms that need to squeeze the most energy out of each battery cycle. Materials and finish at the rear are premium. Gloss blue outer panels, a matte textured lower diffuser, and carbon fiber visual accents where strength and weight savings matter. From a practical standpoint, the lower portion will face road grime, salt, and debris in real-world use, so how the manufacturer treats corrosion protection and the expense of replacing rear panels matters. The rear hatch or access panel appears to be engineered for quick service access to propulsion components or battery modules. That's smart for maintainability. If those panels are expensive to remove or replace, total cost of ownership increases. Look for rigid latches, clear waterproofing seals, and reinforced mounting points if you want durability. Lighting and signaling deserve special attention. Beyond the primary taillights there are integrated turn indicators and what appears to be a spotlight or active braking signature embedded in the rear. Some versions also show configurable LED sequences, useful for communication in low-visibility airspace or crowded urban corridors. For the U.S. market, compliance with FMVSS, Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards, for taillight intensity and turn signal functionality is mandatory for road use. If this vehicle is to be commercially sold in 2025, manufacturers will need to ensure the rear lighting meets DOT requirements for visibility angles and luminous intensity. Failure to comply could limit the vehicle's use to private or restricted airspace. A big piece of the rear story is sensor and redundancy placement. The pictured vehicle shows rear-facing cameras, ultrasonic sensors embedded in the lower bumper, and what look like lidar or radar modules discreetly mounted near the rear deck. These are essential for autonomous or assisted flight modes, automated landing systems, and collision avoidance if the vehicle operates in mixed traffic with both cars and other flying platforms. Redundancy is key here. You want at least dual sensors of different types, e.g., camera plus radar, so that a single sensor failure doesn't compromise safety. For buyers, ask whether the manufacturer offers redundant sensor suites and how they handle firmware updates and cybersecurity for rear-facing systems. Those elements are as crucial as physical brakes in a flying car. From an aerodynamic standpoint, the rear geometry also houses heat management for propulsion. Whether the vehicle uses electric ducted fans, distributed electric propulsion, or a hybrid jet assist system, the rear must direct heated exhaust or airflow away from sensitive surfaces and occupants. The design we're reviewing channels airflow through vented channels and exits them slightly above the diffuser to avoid heating road-level surfaces if the vehicle is operating close to the ground. That suggests thoughtfulness in design, but it also implies more complex internal ducting and potentially higher maintenance if filters and ducts get clogged. Expect routine inspections of rear vents and fans as part of scheduled service. Now let's translate rear design into performance and real-world numbers you can expect in the US market in 2025. Assuming a modern electric VTOL architecture with a focus on lightweight and high-efficiency fans, real-world top cruise speeds for this class of vehicle would likely fall between 100 and 180 miles per hour in optimal low-altitude conditions. Acceleration off a hover into cruise will be brisk, but 0 to 60 in this niche is less meaningful than climb rate and hover endurance. Climb rate, how quickly it can gain altitude from standstill, will depend heavily on rear-mounted lift or thrust vectoring. A well-engineered aft section that minimizes drag and effectively channels thrust can deliver smoother transitions between hover and forward flight, which improves both rider comfort and energy use. Range is the headline figure many buyers ask for. With current 2025 battery densities and a compact, aerodynamic rear that reduces drag, a reasonable expected range for a commercially viable flying car could be in the 60 to 150 mile class on a single charge depending on payload, flight profile, and cruise speed. If the vehicle is built for urban intermodal hops, short distances, the design trade-offs favor efficiency and quick recharge rather than long-range cruising. The rear's aerodynamic efficiency directly impacts this range. Every % reduction in drag extends range noticeably. So the sculpted rear and diffuser-like elements you see are not just pretty, they're range payoffs. Handling and stability tie back into rear mass distribution. Many small flying cars place propulsion mass centrally or rearward for packaging reasons. If heavy batteries sit near the rear, that changes center of gravity and can influence ground handling, crosswind stability during landing, and pitch control. A rear that is too heavy or poorly balanced can cause twitchy behaviors in crosswinds during approach. Good manufacturers mitigate this with active stability control, movable control surfaces, and distributed fans that allow for precise thrust vectoring. For buyers, verify whether the vehicle uses active control surfaces at the rear and how they integrate with flight control software. The smoother the integration, the more confidence you'll have in handling under different conditions. Safety and crashworthiness at the rear deserve frank discussion. In the event of a ground collision or hard landing, the rear must absorb impact without catastrophic failure of propulsion or battery systems. Look for reinforced crash structures, battery compartment isolation, and fail-safe mechanisms like automatic battery disconnects. The rear's lower diffuser area should be designed to crumple in a controlled manner, protecting the integrity of the main cell packs. Additionally, rear-placed emergency recovery systems, such as parachute anchors or controlled descent modules, often attached to the back structure. The mounting points must be independently certified. These are expensive engineering features but essential for minimizing the risks of a novel vehicle type. Now the dollar question. Pricing in the US in 2025. Pricing depends on production volumes, certification costs, and propulsion technology. If this flying car is an entry-level electric personal air vehicle optimized for short hops and urban use, a plausible base price could start in the low tens of thousands for ultra-light non-certified hobbyist variants. For a fully certified, street-legal airworthy consumer model with robust rear sensor suites, redundancy, certified batteries, and safety systems, pricing will look more premium. Think in the range of $60,000 to $250,000 depending on options and whether you include training and maintenance packages. The $6,700 figure you may have seen in thumbnails or clickbait is not realistic for a certified aircraft-capable vehicle. It may reflect a kit, toy, or conceptual render. Expect the honest cost to be higher after certification and insurance. For early adopters and limited production runs, the initial sticker could even exceed $300,000 when you factor in certification and bespoke support. Ownership costs will mirror small aircraft. Insurance premiums will be higher than a comparable car due to airworthiness risk and pilot training. Maintenance intervals, rotor fan replacements, and battery health management will add to annual costs. For fleet operators or ride service models, the rear's modular access for propulsion and battery serviceability could reduce downtime and cost. Leased battery programs and certified service networks will matter. A vehicle with a rear that enables quick swap or access will be cheaper to operate. Where does this rear design vehicle make sense? Urban air mobility corridors, private estates with dedicated vertiports, and controlled suburban airspace. It's less suited to high-density urban centers without established infrastructure. Regulatory acceptance will vary by state and FAA rulings in 2025. Look for transitional categories that allow limited commercial operations under tight constraints. If the rear is optimized for quick maintenance and low noise, the diffuser and exhaust channels you see, it's more likely to gain community acceptance. In comparing to competitors, note how rear styling and engineering reflect company priorities. A rear focused on aesthetics but lacking service access or redundancy is a red flag. Conversely, a rear that looks utilitarian but enables fast service turns and houses redundant sensors suggests real-world readiness. Price comparisons should include the full ecosystem: training, insurance, maintenance, and charging infrastructure. A cheaper base price can quickly be offset by high operational costs if the manufacturer skimped on rear safety or integrated sensor redundancy. To wrap this up, the rear of this blue flying car is more than a styling statement. It's central to aerodynamics, safety, sensor integrity, and serviceability. For U.S. buyers in 2025, focus your buying questions on rear-mounted redundancy, crash structure design, maintenance access, and how rear aerodynamics translate to real-world range and efficiency. Expect genuine consumer-ready models to start at a premium price point once certification costs and safety systems are included. If you're considering becoming an early adopter, budget not just for purchase but also for training, insurance, and a proactive maintenance contract. If you're waiting for scale production, keep an eye on how manufacturers evolve rear design to balance aesthetics with modular service access and redundant sensory systems. If you want, I can turn this into a spoken video script with timestamps and suggested B-roll cut points, or create a short checklist you can use when previewing one of these vehicles in person. Items like checking rear vents for debris, confirming sensor redundancy, and inspecting rear panel seals. Thanks for watching Drive Auto Reviews. If this deep dive helped, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more futuristic vehicle breakdowns and real-world evaluations.